There we go. Here we are. Hi there. Welcome to the first Everyday Enlightenment at 11:11 for 2020. We did it. We did it. We're here. And yet the journey continues, right? So I want to know what your word of the year is for 2021. And you can go ahead and type it below. And a lot of people talk about the word, their word of the year. Or having a word of the year and why it's important. And so I started having a word of the year a couple of years ago. I thought it was really great, and I think I made a video of my word of the year last year. So if you're interested in watching that, you can kind of scroll back through the videos and check that out. But I like having a word of the year. And I think it's important because having a word of the year helps you hold the frequency of what you want to experience. Okay, having a word of the year helps you be mindful of what you want to create, and having a word of the year helps you manifest and sort of like energetically pave the way in front of you of what you want to call into your life for that year. So I've done this, like I said, for the past couple of years. And one of the things that I really love about having a word of the year, and one of the things that I love to experience why it's so rich to have a word of the year, is that you get to see how it infuses and sort of permeates other aspects of your life. So as you hold the energy of the word, because you have to embody it, you have to you can't just have it sort of externally, you have to actually embody the energy and the frequency of the word. And so whether the word is love or joy or peace or abundance, you get to be that as you go through your day, as you go through your week, as you go through your month. And if you're holding that, if you're mindful of it, when you look back at your year, you're like, wow, that's really kind of amazing. So as you hold, and this is so cool because as you hold the frequency of the word of your word of the year, you get to it changes the way you think about things. So anytime you change your thoughts, that is going to change how you feel. Anytime you change the way that you feel and your emotions, it influences the way that you respond, and it influences your outward action, which, as you know, your actions that you take, or the actions that you don't take, eventually transform your life. So this is how having a word of the year, it slowly changes things little by little by little. And then you look back at 365 days of having a word of the year and you're like, wow, that was really cool. So, I always say it starts from the inside out, and that's the same thing. So I'll use myself as an example. So last year, my word of the year was believe. That was my word for 2020. And that was before I picked the word believe, before anything that occurred in 2020 actually came to pass. But I did know that it was going to be a year of where I had to push myself outside of my comfort zone a little bit. And I had to expand in a way that I hadn't yet done that, which I knew ahead of time was going to be uncomfortable. It was going to be new and honestly a little scary, right? And so I started with my word of the year, believe, in January, and then March hit, mid-March hit. We all know what happened there, and we were all sort of collectively put into having a similar experience. So I was like, shit. I'm still wedded to my word of the year, and so it just what happened through 2020 just added another layer of what I got to grow through. And it was challenging. I was like, I said I was going to do it. Integrity is a really big thing for me. So if I say I'm going to do something, and I'm going to do it. And so I had already had these other goals for 2020, and then global 2020 hit and the thing. So it was challenging, and it was really challenging. Not gonna lie. Being a small business owner was super challenging last year. Living in a city where there were crazy riots happening right outside of my business, right outside of my acupuncture office, and also a few blocks from my home. That was challenging. I can say 100%, I never want to experience that again. Check, bye. And it was challenging, and sort of, 2020 had a lot of people learned things last year through 2020 and their eyes opened. But for those, it was also challenging to be surrounded by people who were not yet awake. And I say not yet awake because everybody's going to wake up eventually, right? But it was definitely a challenge being surrounded by people who were not yet awake and seeing the amount of massive manipulation that is happening. And so, no offense to anybody if they're watching this and they're not awake yet. It's all right. No judgment, because the shame game is something that needs to go. So wherever you are, it's all good. But that was challenging. And but all that to say, the growth that I was able to experience last year was accelerated because the amount of challenges that were presented to me. And I'm so grateful for that. And having that word believe as my word last year was really the rudder that helped me navigate the emotional highs and lows of, going through all of that together. And so I really learned that, I was still able to show up the way I was meant to, because I kept going back to that word believe and believe and believe. And because I did believe that, the energy of that word was going to help me sort of get through whatever challenges that I needed to get through. So, 2020, y'all can check that off with me. And and sticking to the word believe over and over again really helped me understand and really helped me know that I really figured out last year. It was like the perfect word for me, because I really figured out last year that sticking to the word believe helped me embody and help me know without a shadow of a doubt why I'm here. And that is to be of assistance to others, starting in 2020 and beyond in such a massive way. And so that knowingness is huge. And so I'm so grateful for my journey last year. And I hope you are grateful for your journey too, because there's a lot that we did last year consciously and unconsciously. So whatever your experience last year, be compassionate with yourself. Whether you had a rock star year and you crushed your goals and you felt great, that's amazing. If you felt like shit all year and were worried and stressed out and whatnot, and you lost your job or whatever, it's okay. You're still here and you're still rocking it. So I hope you're grateful for your journey and can appreciate the what you've been through. So we've changed on all sorts of levels. So I'm excited to see the continuation of how humanity is collectively waking up and shifting and awakening in 2021. I think it's going to be, there's going to be some earthquakes over at the beginning of this year, just to shake things up a little bit more, but it has to happen because we are, we're shifting so much. And so it's out with the old and in with the new. And so we're still in the out with the old phase. And that's what we're seeing, right? Outside and on the things, that's what we're seeing is sort of the out with the old, and the truth of things is going to be bubbling up, which is great, which is really great, overdue and very necessary. And so just hang on if you're feeling a little can I do this again? But because it's not going to be quite as crazy. But it's going to be crazy. So, we're shifting. And thank you for being here for it, because everybody here is, like I've said before, the strongest of the strong. So I would love to hear your word for 2021. You can type it below. I think it's super great to see what other people are manifesting, what kind of energy they're pulling in as they create their year. And so, yeah, type that below. And my word for 2021 is magic. So I'm excited to see how that's going to unfold. Simplicity, says Sarah. That's amazing. That sort of clears the decks for everything. So I love that, Sarah. Vicky says her word is joy. I love that. That is going to, yeah, definitely pull you forward. So thank you for sharing those with me. Simplicity, joy. Yeah, like I said, if you just joined, my word last year was believe. My word for this year is magic. And I'm in it to win it this year. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next week.